Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. This is a set of 5 model kits done by Doyusha, as you can see up here, of the 5 Samurai Troopers. That's what this says right here, Samurai Troopers. In America, you may have known them as the Ronin Warriors. It was an anime that was brought over, I want to say, in the mid-90s. Adapted from Samurai Troopers to Ronin Warriors. There were figures done by Playmates Toys back in the day, which I had and I loved. They had like spring joints, so you could kind of move the arms and they'd kind of swing back in. They were spring-loaded and stuff like that. Apparently, Doyusha has been doing these since 1988, as it shows here on the back of the box. So this is a reissue. This is a reissue of 5 model kits of the 5 Samurai Troopers that I kind of just picked up on a whim. You can see the 5 right here. When I was a kid, I never had all 5 of those action figures that I previously mentioned. I think I had Ryo, I had Sage, and I think I had Sai. Never had Kento or Rowan. So I don't know, I saw this reissue and I was curious and I wanted to give it a whirl. So today I'm just going to be taking a look at Ryo. We're just going to look at the one today, but I wanted to at least show off the packaging for the whole box. Now it shows off down here. I'm not quite sure what all of these tools are. It looks like a file, some clippers. I'm not quite sure what that is. And this is either paint or glue. I don't think you need glue, but I could be wrong. I've never really done one of these kinds of models before. I'm used to, Bandai Mini Pla, which is all just snapped together. Some stickers, definitely. But we'll have to see. I'm hoping these snap together without glue. I think they are meant to be painted. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily paint mine. But I don't know. When this was announced, I was looking around everywhere on YouTube for a video about it because I wanted to know if I should get it or not. I wanted to know how involved it was, and I could not find like any videos. So I thought, when I get it, I got to at least do one video to show people what the heck this thing is. Probably, I guess most people who are into model kits probably already know what this is, and I'm just behind on the learning curve here. But I wanted to at least check this out. So if we open this up, you have this little card on top which shows you all 5, which is pretty cool. And then like I said, I'm just going to pull out the Ryo box. I guess he was called Ryo here, but now that I'm thinking about it, would just be Ryo. In any case, here we go. Here is the box. What does it say? Does it have a name on here? Yoroiden Samurai Troopers. It doesn't really say. It just says Ryo. Sanada Ryo. So there we go. But pretty cool artwork here on the front and on the sides. And if we open up the box, you have a little sheet here which has the instructions inside. As you can see, you have to kind of build the whole body first, and then you put the armor on top. And then we take a look on the back. It shows that they did do all 5, and then the 4 warlords, and then I'm assuming this is the white armor. I don't know if these are going to get reissued or not. I guess it depends on how well these sell. But pretty cool. And then if you take a look in here, you can see that it's just 2 different colors, white and red. And there is, I think, 1 small sticker sheet just for those 2 shoulder pad decals. So I'm going to give it a whirl, see how it goes, and we'll check back in once I have at least built the inner body first. So, wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, so this is the base figure that you build, and I'm going to apologize right off the bat because this thing is so stark white that my white balance is going to be crazy. But yeah, this is the figure that you build before you attach any of the armor. So he's got some decent articulation. You can see nothing's painted. The head looks a little creepy being solid white, but the head can move from side to side. You have movement here in the shoulder joint, spins around. You have a bicep swivel. You have 90 degrees. Actually a little bit more than 90 degrees in the elbow. And then you have a hand swivel, wrist swivel, I should say. Waist swivel, kind of a ball joint here in the hip. 90 degrees there in the knee, and then you have a swivel in the ankle. So I kind of wish some of this was red. I feel like, I know that they're not going to paint anything, but these two pieces here for basically the knee down and the two pieces for the feet could have been done in red instead of white. The crotch could have been done in red. I feel like this separate forearm piece could have been done in red because that's a separate piece. I understand the chest, it would have been difficult. You would have had to choose between red and white because it's about half and half. I think the sides are normally white and this kind of V-neck part is white, but the rest is red, like here in this chest. I probably would have just done the whole thing in red to be safe. But it would have been neat just to have like this base figure have a little bit of color to it instead of just being completely white. But I will say I wanted to film this before I attached any of the armor because I think once you attach the armor, it's going to be really difficult to get it off. I tried to peg in just the one like arm gauntlet piece onto the forearm, and trying to get it off to then reshoot this video was kind of a ridiculously involved process. The other thing I'll say is when you put the two pieces of the chest together, you have to lay in, like this whole thing gets assembled and you have to lay that in the back part. These get laid in the back and the head gets, and then you push this on and that's what holds it all together. There's kind of a weird like slit to this because basically each piece is like a peg with a bigger circle on the end, and that kind of fits into a channel. But this one fit in great and you can see it moves. This one, it felt like the piece that the big circle was connected to, the rod wasn't long enough, because when I tried to fit it into the channel, it like wasn't, like you can see it's really tight here. And when I try to move it, it kind of wants to kick it apart because it doesn't really fit well in there. So we'll see how it is once I attach the armor, but I don't know. Right off the bat, they're kind of neat, but they're also kind of loose, and it doesn't, like, especially the feet don't hold together all that well. Now, I saw that thing on the box that said glue. I don't know if you're supposed to glue these together. Like after you peg it together, but then you also glue it to keep it together. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. So we'll see how it goes once I have all the armor and everything attached. But there's the base figure. It's not bad. And if you're handy with paint, you could certainly paint these pieces and the head to make it look like, you know, how he's supposed to look before he puts the armor on. But I have a feeling it's not going to matter because once the armor goes on, it's probably never coming off. So here is the completed figure. As you can tell, it is a lot of red, but you do have the white to break it up, which isn't too bad. Unfortunately on mine, I don't know if I broke something or not, but the helmet doesn't stay together all that well. Whoops, as I drop it. So it definitely pegs together in the back here, which you can see. There's a tiny little peg right there and a peg hole. And there's a peg hole over here. But there's not really like a nub on this side. And I don't know if I broke it off or I wore it down. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it pegs together in the back just fine. And like if you're just holding the helmet, it kind of stays together fine. But then when I try to place it on the head, it kind of separates. Like it'll stay on, but it kind of separates like that, which is a shame. Again, nothing is painted, so it's, you know, like I said, a lot of red. He does have holders for the swords back here, which is pretty cool. The thing that's weird is because he's got this large, like, hump on the back, this one goes in no problem. But then when you try to put it in this one, it kind of hits. Like, it rests and it's not a big deal. It kind of rests right on there. But this kind of, like, the hilt of the sword kind of hits against. So it kind of goes in that far and stops. But it's not a huge problem. But it doesn't go all the way in. But it'll still hold it. I'm just going to take this off for the moment. But the head is still completely white. The in and out movement with the shoulder pads is a little limited. But you can still swivel around. You can still bend at the elbow. You can still use the bicep swivel. So there's that. You can still use the wrist swivel if you prefer. This piece falls off a lot though because it really just kind of clips on. So you kind of have to clip it on and then bring the sword down, because if you push the sword all the way down to the hand, it'll probably kick that off, as you can see, as I just flip it off like a tiddlywink. I don't even know. That just disappeared into the ether. Did that fall down here? Probably. I will have to fish that out later. That's gone. I mean, you could leave it off. It's not a huge problem. You could probably even, like, if you wanted to just paint that red and leave the other piece off, but these do kind of spin around when they don't have anything to keep them in place. So, I mean, all in all, it's not an amazing model. Obviously, it would look better if you could paint it, which I'm not really... I don't think I'm going to paint these. We'll see. I'm going to put the other ones together, I think. I don't know if I'm going to do videos on them. I wanted to at least do one video, just in case anyone was thinking about... I kind of really wish I could have just bought one of these instead of buying the entire box. But they're honestly not bad. They're really not bad. Like, I know they seem kind of cheap, but I feel like you get a decent amount of articulation. Like with the armor on, you still have this swivel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the leg articulation is still there. You don't lose any of that. And like I said, the only place I would really want some paint, I would want the little bit of blue that goes on the side and the blue on the shoulder pads. These are supposed to be white, but they don't really bother me when they're red. Everything down here I don't mind being red. I mean, you can get as creative as you want if you want to add panel trim and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, I really just kind of wish the helmet stayed on a little better. That's kind of my major complaint. If the helmet just had that... Oops, okay. If the helmet just had that second tab to stay together, I really wouldn't mind this one at all. Maybe I could glue it. Maybe I could glue it. I just feel like as soon as I go to put it on, it would just snap apart. But so yeah, I wanted to at least do one video on these, just because when I was looking into buying this, there were no videos on YouTube that I could find. And I wish I had found one like this, because I might not have bought it. I don't 100% regret owning it. I do like the Ronin Warriors / Samurai Troopers. And like I said, they're not bad. I mean, when you think about it, I think it was like $70 for the box. Or a little bit less than $70 for the box. So each one is, you know, $12.50, something like that. And when you think about it like that, it's not a bad little model kit for $12.50. When I think about those, like, you know, 1-144 Gundam model kits I used to buy back in the day that were like $10 at the time, and that's with inflation. So I mean, that would probably be about $15 today. So they're kind of, you know, on the price point for that. They're I think it's 1 to 12, 1/12 model size, I think. So they're not bad. Honestly, I don't think they're that bad. Obviously, if you can paint them, they'd be better. But I'm kind of happy with it. I wish it was a little bit better, but ultimately, I think it's okay. Really, just that helmet. I wish that helmet held together a little better. We'll see how the other ones turn out. If you guys really like this video, maybe I'll do some for the others, but I think for the most part, I wanted to just at least get one video out there. So if anyone was interested in these, you could at least see one video. But overall, I think it's okay, not amazing. But But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.